Sauber, Junge, sauber!
And with that, hello and welcome to the BVB update. I'm Stefan Butzko, and in this format I will of course talk about Borussia Dortmund's late heroics against Bayern Munich to come back from a 2-0 deficit to then equalize in the 95th minute with the last kick or header of the game, Anthony Modeste being the hero of the day. And yeah, it was a very dramatic game with sending offs, potential sending offs that could have been but weren't. And yeah, also a Bayern Munich side that wasn't all that great, and Borussia Dortmund being a little bit silly here and there. But I think overall you can be happy with the result and also with the way it all unfolded, because Borussia Dortmund really were the better team in my book. And so the fact that Bayern did score with Goretzka and Sané was a little bit vexing, because I don't really think they deserved it. But there are a lot of quotes to get to, and I'm starting with Jude Bellingham, because in that case I don't actually have to translate it.
I haven't really got words for it, to be honest. You know, they come here for the last, I think, 8 games and they've always beaten us, and you know, we haven't got the 3 points, but I think the bigger picture is the vibe and the energy that draw gives off, and that the way we kind of got back into the game. That's the important takeaway, and that's why it maybe feels like a win, because it sets us up so well for the next games. You know, the atmosphere in the change room is going to be brilliant, but now it's up to us to take it into the next games.
And also we have quotes from Youssoufa Moukoko, and yeah, he obviously did score the 1-2 for Dortmund, which of course was assisted by Anthony Modeste with that nice little layover, but also initiated by Schlotterbeck. And Moukoko basically had a 1-2 with Modeste. And yeah, Moukoko said, quote, "The 2-2 was pure insanity. We all lost our minds on the bench. We just ran on the field. You could see in our celebrations that we are a team. Scoring a goal against Bayern in the 95th minute is incredible." And then he continues saying, "I'm very happy for Tony. He didn't have the easiest time recently. He didn't score often. But I think the goal against Bayern will give his confidence a big boost. I think we will see a lot more goals from him. I'm just incredibly happy for him. I also learn a lot from him in training. Obviously, people don't see it, but he's like a big brother. We joke around a lot, and I'm just very happy for him." And then he was asked if scoring against Schalke, Sevilla, and Bayern helps his own confidence, and he says, "Of course, scoring goals immensely helps my confidence. I'm totally changed compared to last year. My mentality is stronger. My body is stronger. It's also down to the trust the coach is giving me. I have to pay it back on the pitch. Right now, I believe I'm doing that. But not just me, the entire team is. Now we have to beat Sevilla on Tuesday in order to qualify for the Champions League knockout round." And yeah, about his substitution, he said, "I left everything on the pitch that I had. I signaled to the coach at some point that my legs felt tired. I ran myself into the ground for the team. So I came off, but we scored the 2-2. Which was awesome." And yeah, we also have quotes from Nico Schlotterbeck, who said, "At the end, we just threw everything forward. I think our goalkeeper was in the opponent's box for 2 minutes straight. We really had some power play going on there." And yeah, about the pass that he received from Karim Adeyemi before he, of course, set up Modeste with this beautiful cross, he said, "I was caught by surprise by Karim's ball. I didn't really see it coming, or otherwise I could have got to it the first time. In the end, I saw Tony waiting at the far post, and I was lucky that my cross made its way to him because the defender was only millimeters away from blocking it." And then he said, "I'm all the more happy for Tony. He had a long scoring drought and wasn't satisfied with his own performances. So I'm glad that he scored his goal." And then the stadium exploded. And finally, he was asked, what does it say about the team to come back from being 2-0 down? And there Schlotterbeck says, "First of all, we didn't win. Overall, if you look at the chances on either end, we were probably slightly better. Nevertheless, after Bayern made it 2-0, we had a 10-15 minute rough patch in our game, but then we thought our way back into the match. We had to really work hard for it. We needed a bit more composure on the counter-attack today, especially in the first half, where we forced them into picking up yellow cards, but we just lacked the blowout punch in the final third." And Karim Adeyemi was asked about the Modest miss, and he said, yeah, when Modest missed the chance to set up, I thought, pity, but we must carry on. Maybe if we score that, we could have won 3-2 in the end. You never know. I believe that we would have deserved a win today. And Anthony Modest also with a soundbite. He was interviewed by Ruhrnachrichten, and he said, in the end, I could have scored 2 goals. It can happen that you miss a shot on goal. In the end, I scored the goal. Sometimes the easiest thing is the hardest. I make no secret of the fact that I complained during the week because we don't cross so much. When the cross came, I was a bit surprised, but I should be surprised. I'm at a big club now and I've had to take a lot of criticism, yet I've always remained positive. I'm also happy for Moukoko. He did very well. We are family. And then he said also, we want to become champions, but we're also happy to take the point. We don't have to play sexy. We have to play effective. The last 20 minutes were difficult for Bayern, but BVB has to win games like this at home. And with that, we come to the Bayern coach. And of course, the main controversy in German media today after the game is that in Nagelsmann's and a lot of the media's view, Jude Bellingham should have been sent off at least with a second yellow for kicking Alphonso Davies in the face. And Nagelsmann there said, suspected concussion. It's not surprising given the kick in the face. We had a course 4 months ago. They told us that a kick in the face is a red card. There's no need to discuss it. That's not a yellow. That's a red card. And Neuer also said after the game that it was certainly unintentional by Bellingham, but the referee told the team at halftime that Davies' head was too low. But we hear from referees that a kick in the head must be penalized with a red card. The ref has to apply that with the VAR. And the referee, of course, also talked to Sky afterwards, and Eitekin said, this game is very intense with a lot of duels, and when the 2 top teams meet, there is a lot at stake. I can understand anyone who sees it differently, that's football, but also you have to look at a football match as a whole. The first yellow card for Bellingham was in a hectic phase. He received a discretionary yellow that you can give but don't have to, not a stonewall yellow card. And in that situation for me, it was Davies coming from behind with his head down. I didn't have the final conviction to give a second yellow card and ultimately decide the game like that. And Sebastian Kehl also had a say about it, and he said Jude didn't see him at all. He tries to clear the ball. Of course it looks awful in the end, but if we start discussing it now, I don't know how we assess the situations with Sané, Goretzka or De Ligt, because obviously Bayern Munich also had a lot of crunching challenges, and I would say got away not receiving a booking here or there. And what I obviously love is that Bayern fans are posting memes with Eitekin and Dortmund crest, which gives me personally a lot of life, because Borussia Dortmund were on the short end of the stick of imbalanced refereeing calls, if you will. So I personally don't care. And Matthias Zug, my partner in crime, saying, hearing FC Bayern talk about a BVB player deserving a red card today, all I have to say is shut the F up. No leg to stand on based on decades of complete bias. So there you go. That's what Matthias had to say. And there were also some reactions from the players that posted after the game. First of all, Jude Bellingham said, got what we deserved in the end. What a fight from the boys. Apologies for the collision at Alphonso Davies. Hope you're feeling better as soon as possible. And obviously I too hope that Alphonso Davies is feeling well soon, because I do not want him to be concussed. I think he actually had to go to the hospital after being subbed off. So not something you like to see, and head injuries in sport are obviously not a short-term concern, but also long-term concern. So I hoped Alphonso Davies will be okay. And Marius Wolf said, what a match, good night Borussia. And I don't know why he is on the ground in 2 out of 3 pictures, but that's how it is. Karim Adeyemi saying, strong comeback from the team. And obviously the pictures here, again, the picture of him forcing Kingsley Coman to be sent off. And that was obviously a blatant duck. And since he did it not once but twice, Kingsley Coman trying to sub Adeyemi, I don't think there's much of a debate that was certainly a slam dunk second yellow. And maybe it did also change the game, but his own fault really for being this stupid. And then of course we have some cool reactions from BVB in DC, in Washington DC, and here it goes.
Let's go! Woo!
Yeah, very cool. And Jan Koller on the Czech television having his reaction to the late equalizer. And I'm not entirely sure who this other guy is. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me, but yeah, him dancing here, very funny. But yeah, we also have some memes coming out of this. Obviously, Oliver Kahn is the main meme today, just because of his reaction. And yeah, here you have it in motion. It's just beautiful. And it's not only the joy about the equalizer, I'm sure it's for most people also about the Schadenfreude. And yeah, for F1 fans, certainly Copper needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. And yeah, they're the same picture of Toto Wolff throwing his headset away. And here, when I drive up to an empty Chick-fil-A drive-through and then realize it's Sunday, also a good one. And lastly, I think there is also something on a more serious note, but also nice that Borussia Dortmund did acknowledge it and tweeting, no matter what gender, no matter what skin color, religion or sexual orientation, for us, all people are equal. We stand side by side with the courageous women in Iran in memory of Sarina Esmailzadeh, who tragically was killed by her own government protesting for her own freedoms and rights. And as you can see, the 16-year-old was also a Borussia Dortmund fan. And yeah, a very tragic story. But yeah, I still think it needs to be mentioned. But let's end this BVB update with the team celebrating with the yellow wall. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. That is it. Until next time, goodbye.